There's a cool vibe in studio this morning, bro. Can you feel it?
Couple of special guests. I feel underdressed now.
Yeah, I know. They're pretty special, actually, and one's an international, too. Far out. Can we introduce you to Bethany Edmonds and Maddie Hornblow, longtime friends with a shared love of songwriting, music, and faith. They join us this morning. Morning, team.
Morning. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
Okay, now straight into the controversy because you guys are a duo. You've got your EP came out last year, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we'll get to talking about that. But what do you do now that one of you lives in Australia?
It's a touchy subject.
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Why do we have to start with this?
Who's living in Australia?
I am,
See the accent? Can you hear it
Yeah.
already?
She's got a twang.
Fuck, yeah,
More
I know.
Australian by the day.
I
Yeah.
don't know if we can continue.
Do you feel like you will be one of those people that picks up the accent? Are you like...
I already am. Yeah,
okay.
my mum already says I sound more Australian.
Okay, Maddie. Tell us about
Maddie.
yourself, Maddie.
So I just moved to Australia like 5 months ago to work as a lawyer. But we met and we write songs and we still do that.
Yeah,
we
cool.
do it over voice memo now.
So that's how we do it.
What's the relationship between you guys? You're friends, and how have you known each other since kids, or like what? How did this come about that you formed this like musical duo?
Okay, this is going to sound really cheesy, but I prayed for some friends, and then
And I was the
Maddie's
answer.
Yeah,
It was mutual.
Yeah.
I also prayed for,
Okay.
for friends.
Well, where did you guys connect? And how long have you guys been besties for?
It was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, 6 years
like
ago.
uni for me. But then,
Yeah.
we just kind of, there was a group of us that all went to different churches and then just all wanted to hang out and like have fun and do random things. And then we connected and then, caught up for coffee one day, realized that we both loved music and worship. And then we started just doing that for fun. Yeah.
Wow.
Six years ago.
6 years ago, yeah.
a
And so we
long
like wrote
time.
some songs for fun and would just like be how we would process life and how we'd just work through stuff together. And then, one day I think God nudged us individually to be like, maybe you should take these beyond the little piano room.
The living room, yeah.
The living room. And like share them a little further, which was exciting. Yeah.
What does it feel like when you, like something you've worked on obviously together and you spent a lot of time, putting into and expressing yourself and all of that. And then it's time to like reveal that to other people. Is that quite a nerve-wracking?
It's pretty vulnerable,
Yeah.
But it was really nice to do it together because whenever one of us would freak out, they could help the other
grab
person
you down,
like
like, bring you down, man.
deep breathing.
Tell us about that first time that, you got your song, and then you're thinking about, okay, when do we put this out there? How does that going to look?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We had to
Can you remember back that far?
Yeah, we had to find somebody that would produce it. And we didn't know, we've never done that before. And then we also didn't have like heaps of money to do it as well. So we just like kind of prayed into it. And then a good friend kind of popped on our radar. And then the first part was showing him all the songs and being like, do
That
you
was
like
very,
these?
very raw, very.
It's like the Simon Cowell moment,
Yes,
right?
it was.
And we're like, is he going to hit the golden buzzer? Is he
yeah.
going to like
You're
it?
like, I like it, but
Yeah.
And then he was real keen to record them, and then we had to kind of condense it from 8 songs to 5, and then go from that. But I enjoyed the process of doing it more. I didn't want to release them because that meant the process of writing them and
It was
like,
really
recording
fun.
them was over. So but it
guess-
is nice to have them there.
Now it must be, because you're still together, right? You're still writing songs, even though
Yeah.
Maddie's in Australia.
Yeah,
So
it's a bit different.
Well, I was going to say, like the creative process in itself, when you come together as musicians, I got no idea, but I can imagine that being tough on its own when you're together.
Yeah.
Now Maddie's overseas in Australia. So how does that work out with the creative process and you guys writing songs?
I mean, we do voice memos a lot.
Yeah, that's how we keep in touch. We'll just
yeah.
like, I'll send a podcast of everything that's gone on my week, and then she'll reply with her
And then I
podcast.
reply, they can get quite long.
They get quite long,
And
especially
when
if
they get
something's
too long,
happened.
we're like, we just need to call
hey,
at this
I'll call
point.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pop over to sit.
But
You
yeah.
guys have such a cool vibe together, by the way. Like, I can imagine these long voice memos. You're like, hold on, I just got to listen to a 12-minute voice memo from my
Get
friend.
my
Hold
cup
up.
of tea. You're gonna
Yeah,
sit down.
exactly.
So then on that note, like you can listen to the voice memo. The good thing about you two not being together in the same room is that you can turn the voice memo off, right?
Yeah,
When you get
absolutely. Yeah,
So-
you just pause it.
Are there
Yeah.
really, I mean, you've both got your own creative space. You're in your both creative space. You know what you both like. So how does that all come together as a duo? Because you're both bringing different things to the party. What are your strengths that you bring both to the process?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a really good question.
That's such a good question. I feel like one of us will bring a song and then the other person like helps to write the bridge or can spot the part of the song that's missing or like
ties it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably how I'd describe it. You kind of come with like a skeleton of a song.
Yeah.
And you're like, can you fix this? Maddie's good at like, I'll come with a song that's really wordy and she's like, take out that word, take out that word. I'm like, wow, that's so much
That's too
better.
highbrow.
It's
People won't know
too
what
many
it
words.
People,
Like,
they're not going to know.
It's like,
You
no,
read
it's
too
an
many
essay.
books.
Yeah,
I've never heard that word.
But the cool thing is as well is that I think the plan is that because we don't have a name for both of us together. We're just two individual people.
Yeah, I wanted to
And
ask
then,
about that.
Yeah, and I don't know, band names are always a tricky one anyway.
Yeah.
But the idea is that Maddie can go off and kind of explore her creative side, and she's got a very unique sound as well. And then I would be the same. And then we come together and do this beautiful thing, but also we've got individual projects that we're working on too.
Yeah,
so
cool.
it's like kind of just keeps it going,
That's
especially
awesome.
with like the overseas thing as well.
Yeah.
So Maddie's got a song coming out soon, and then
End of the year,
end of the
yeah.
year, and then we'll keep working on a song that we've written together, and then I'll hopefully do one too, and then just keep it all
Awesome.
going.
Well, maybe if you're listening to these two lovely musicians right now, Bethany and Madison, maybe you can come up with a name for these two.
That's so true.
If you've
Help
got
us.
any suggestions, you can text that through right now. 8168. The keyword is life. I mean, we've just given you their first name, so you might have to have a play with that.
What about Methany?
Methany, that's
Oh, no,
really
probably
good.
no good.
Yeah.
Hold on. Just straight up.
like
Madison.
That's
Madison.
Whoa, I never
That's
heard
definitely our
that.
vibe. That's the vibe of our
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah,
now.
dark
Yeah.
sunglasses,
You
leather
really-
jacket.
100%. No
Madison.
colour. No
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Nah, I think Madison. Madison is a
Lock it in, team.
Yeah.
Right,
Well-
well, someone copyright that.
We've come up with
domain.
something. We've come up with something,
Yeah.
but maybe
Thank
you
you.
can come up with something. You just
Yeah,
text through
we'll deliberate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Off air.
Off air.
8168 keyword is life. You two stick around because we want to talk about one, your faith, and two, we need you to perform as well. So get those chops ready. Here's a song that's out on your EP right now. It's called Be Steady My Heart. This is the first time ever that this has been played on Life FM. So that's kind of special, right? So here they are, Bethany and Madison. This is Life FM on the morning wake up with Salah and Bjorn. Bethany Edmonds, Madison Hornblow. The song's called Be Steady My Heart. And I said that's the first time you've heard that on Life FM. But you know what? Josh Coombridge has come in and just grass cut me from that because Bethany was just telling me, nah, that ain't the first time Life FM has played that
I didn't mean
jam.
to fact check you, but
Far out.
He literally got onto it early when these guys were still underground. He played it last year.
Yeah.
Last-
So
Yeah.
true.
Last
believes
year.
in us.
Last year.
Last year.
I know. How
know.
slow are you on the uptake, Zella?
we owe
I'll tell you what.
It's okay.
I tell you what, we know the guys who handle the music here at Life FM.
Oh, yeah. You know
We'll
a
make
guy?
sure that, we know Guy.
I'll slide you.
I'm
Yeah,
glad.
we'll
do a 20.
You know, I'm glad we
Slide you.
fired Josh Coombridge because these kind of moves.
This
that's
is
why.
why.
That's why we had to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Rogue. No
I'm
one
sorry to be
likes
a part
that.
of that.
Yeah.
Can we come back to, we haven't touched on your faith. And I think that's one thing that brings you two together as well, not only your friendship. So how does faith come in between you two as friends, but more importantly, shape your music and your songwriting? Maddie?
Question.
You're like, wow,
I think
straight in.
That's a good question. I think like we both love worship and love God, and it's really special to have a friend that gets that and gets that whole side of life and how that flows into everything else, and then is also able to process that in song with you creatively, which is I'm really grateful for.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think we've been both journeying into what worship is beyond song and how it's just your life. And then we reflect that in song as well. And I think, I don't know how to describe it, but I think it's just the wiring of our friendship is really built on.
We've heard you have a little rehearsal, so I
Yeah.
think you're bang on with that explanation.
You should have seen them when they were just doing their air check a second ago. These two just stared into each other's eyes like
We didn't need to talk
She
about
lives in
it.
two
Australia again.
like maniacal twins. I was like, wow, this is a connection. It's deep. Well, but you did say earlier, right, that you kind of like you met each other because you both prayed for a friend. You know,
Yeah.
someone who would understand you and be on the same kind of wavelength, right?
Yeah.
With your faith, is that like a lifelong thing, or how did you come to know God? Is it grow up kind of going to church, or
Yeah.
I grew up in a pastor's kid household.
oh no,
Yeah, I know.
I'm so sorry.
Tragedy. And so, that's been like ingrained into you. But there was definitely over the last 5 years has been this kind of deepening of what that looks like beyond like religion and
Yeah.
who God is in the world and in my life and personally. And it's just like, yeah, kind of exploded in this reality, finding the reality of Jesus, really. But yeah, I could go on about that for days. So
Which you do in your songs, which is
yeah,
cool.
exactly. I will leave that to the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd be the same?
Yeah,
growing up in a
similar,
Christian
like grew up in
home?
a Christian home, went to church. But yeah, like you said, as you get older, your faith kind
Something
of becomes your
shifts,
own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that song that I just played, Be Steady My Heart, you know, you corrected me, Bethany, and thank you for
Sorry,
doing that.
I'm sorry.
It's been out for a little while. And what we love to ask musicians is the impact that their music has on people. Now, that song has been out was played last year. So you've obviously had some feedback on what that song means to some people. Can we talk about, before we get you to sing, about the impact of your music on people? How they responded to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a good question?
Good, is that another
It's
good
another
question?
good question.
Yeah.
You're throwing them at us. I think people have been like excited to see us step out and like hear what we have. People were surprised by the quality of the recording, and we were like, okay.
Is that a
cool.
compliment?
What were you expecting? But yeah, there's like that. The word steadiness and steady heart was kind of woven throughout all of the songs, and it's people are kind of catching that. I think is what I've heard.
Yeah.
That they like how it's kind of just real and straight up. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard too much, you know.
Well,
We're
after this
still-
new
yeah.
song, I think you're going to get a lot, so brace yourself.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Before we get you to play it, what's the song called and what does it mean to you?
The song's called Access Way, and it speaks to kind of the picture that we see in Hebrews about the access way into the presence of the Lord being open, not by anything that we've done, but just by who Jesus is and what he did on the cross, and how that's where our worship flows from, is that like we have an access way to the presence of the Lord right here, so we don't have to try and get in it. We're in it. And then, from there flows like just worship to the King of Kings, really.
How do people get a hold of your music? Is it on Spotify? Can they just...
Yeah. It's on Spotify.
It's on Spotify.
So, because you haven't got a name, whose name is it under?
So it's under both of us. So
Yeah.
you can search either of our names or just search the Steady
Steady
Heart
Heart
EP.
Okay.
It should come up.
We're going to cut you loose after you sing a song. So on behalf of Life FM, thank you so much for coming in, Madison.
You don't have to take that.
We're obliged.
Talk about that later.
We wish you well with your music, with your journey. Maddie, all the best going back to Australia.
Thank you.
Take care. God bless. Here they are, Bethany and Madison.
The access way is open. You are dwelling within me. I'm a temple for you, Jesus. Here to bring my offering. You are holy, holy, seated on the rightful throne of glory, glory, worthy King of kings. You are holy, holy, seated on the rightful throne of glory, glory, worthy King of kings. You are. The access way is open. I'm positioned at your feet, pouring out my oil of thank you. The veil was torn for me to see. You are holy, holy, seated on the rightful throne of glory, glory, worthy King of kings. You are holy, holy, seated on the rightful throne of glory, glory, worthy King of kings. You are. With all the angels singing, you are the greatest gift that's enthroned eternally. You are, you are. With all the angels singing, you are the greatest gift that's enthroned eternally. You are.
the greatest gift that's enthroned eternally. You are